mummy's loving arms, there's no way you can win. You're victim of your corporal's charm, so get some in. The rat's got 2 years of your life, now isn't that a sin? There's only one way to get out, and that's to get some in. Get some in!
Well, we've both had it tonight. This stove's ruining our social life.
What was that, Cinders? Did I hear you say you're not going to the ball?
You know very well we're not going to the ball, Corporal Marsh.
Oh, but why? Why?
Because you put us in rotten stove cleaning.
Me? That doesn't sound like me at all. I'm too nice to do a thing like that.
Well, you flipping did.
Well, it's still not too late. I mean, you could still get into Skelton, couldn't you? I could let you off stove cleaning.
Could you really, Corporal?
Yes, I could.
Well, the bus is gone now.
But don't get all forlorn, my little jockey Strappy. I could get you a lift in the back of a 1500 weight.
Shall we get changed, then?
Certainly. Oh, bother, it's all off.
I thought so.
You were teasing.
No, it's just one of those things. I've just remembered I gave my last £2 to a poor old crippled lady. Well, I can hardly go into town if I'm bereft of money.
Well, I mean, I've got £2.
Well, just till tomorrow then, Jock. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
But what about us?
Well, what do you mean, what about you?
You said you would get us into Skelton.
You want to learn your English grammar. I said could. I didn't say I would, did I?
I reckon stove cleaning is more exciting than this. Shall we go somewhere else?
Yeah, let's try the cemetery.
Terrific. Come on. Hey, I don't know, though. Oi, come on.
2 lager and limes, please.
Ooh, you want to watch that? Lime's an aphrodisiac, you know.
Well, how do you know? Forward.
I'm a white slave trader, and I. I'll do these. And 2 halves of bitter as well, please, landlord. Jakey Smith.
Oh, well, I'm Julie and she's Rhonda. After Rhonda Fleming, because her second name's Fleming, see?
Oh, yeah. How interesting. Personally, I always associate Rhonda with the valley. Yeah. And talking of valleys, that's a very pretty top you've got on, Rhonda. And this is my... Oi, come here. And this is my mate, Ken.
How do you do?
Oh, how do you do?
Anyway, Rhonda, why don't you put your little bot on a soft seat and I'll tell you all about my experiences in Saudi Arabia.
Don't mind. If you buy us a bag of crisps.
With the greatest of pleasure, Poppet. Split 'em up, we're in here.
Pardon?
1 bag of crisps, mine host. Cheers, Squire. Talk to her then, go on. You're in. Funny that you've been called Rhonda Fleming, because I thought you looked a bit like her.
Did you?
Something about the eyes.
I've always found botany experiments very interesting, don't you?
What experiments?
Well, like, calculating how much carbon dioxide a plant gives off.
That's dopey, that is.
Oh.
Here, where's my crisps, then?
Oh, sorry, darling. Here, tell you what, I'll wrestle you for them, all right?
Oh, I wouldn't struggle too hard.
Yeah, I bet you wouldn't. You a Skelton girl, then?
Yeah, all my life.
Yeah? I didn't know such lovely ladies in Skelton.
Yeah.
Yeah, cheers.
Oh, jeez.
Then there's physics, of course.
Where?
At school.
School's childish. Here, that's your hand, that is.
Oh, sorry, darling. I was just trying to salt your crisps.
Oh.
Mine, that blue one, ain't half salty.
He's a devil, old Jakey.
Yeah. You're not.
No. Do you like jazz?
No.
I do.
You would.
Yeah. That's a very pretty top you're wearing.
Don't be personal. Here, Rond, are we going somewhere or not?
Wait a minute. Do you go up in aeroplanes?
Oh, yeah, I've flown all over the world, haven't I?
Not a very good conversationalist, are you?
Well, only because we haven't discovered any mutual interest.
Go on, then. Discover it.
Well, it takes two.
What are you insinuating?
Well, mutuality.
That's insurance. Here, Rond. Rond.
Wait a minute.
No, now.
What then?
My one's daft.
Listen, you are free tonight, right?
Rond.
Well, don't worry.
Rond, can I have a word with you a minute, please?
Oh,
I just don't want to waste the whole evening with these two. I don't like him.
What's the matter with you?
I don't think she likes me.
It don't matter whether they like you or not.
Look, I think we might as well drop them.
Get off, mine's red hot. Anyway, Rhonda, are we going to pictures then?
yeah, all right.
Yeah, back row.
If you like.
Great.
Only I'm only coming if my friend Julie comes with us.
Why's that then?
Him, that's why. It's peculiar. Listen, where are we going? We're going to the embassy. Embassy?
Yeah, I don't mind. Which one we go to? Hey, hang on, I'll with you.
How many times have I told you I will not have fighting in the duel? I suppose you started it all, Lily.
I suppose I did, really. I mean, I brought up the subject of football.
Stirrer. Fag for the corporal. Light for the corporal. So, you all like football, do you?
Yeah, of course.
So do I. I'm a terrific player, too. I had a trial for Brentford once.
What, the brewery?
Pardon?
Nothing, Corporal.
Right, so, football it is. You lot paint the goalposts, you lot cut the grass, you lot mark out the lines. Don't worry, you'll get your game. That is, we'll pick up sides if it ain't dark by 5:30.
But it will be dark by 5:30, Corporal.
Well, I can't do nothing about it. Take it up with the great referee in the sky, Matthew. Oh, there is one other job needs doing. A bit of housework needs a woman's touch, really. That'll be you, Nance.
I'd sooner be with the others.
Of course you would, dirty little beast. That's why I'm segregating you. Well, come on, stop pouting. Get off over and report to Squadron Leader Fairfax's wife.
Mrs. Fairfax?
Well, it would be, wouldn't it?
Oh, I don't mind that. She's wonderful.
How do you know?
Well, I had to dig her garden once. She gave me a cup of tea.
That's about all you will get and all. Oh, we've all tried, but even I found that proves it's impossible.
That's not the way I think of her.
No, you wouldn't, would you? You two will probably discuss knitting patterns all afternoon. Well, go on, push off, Puffhouse. Well, come on, hideous rangers! Get out there. If you want 5 minutes before it gets dark, you'll have to get to work.
Corporal, could you let me have the £2 you owe me?
What £2?
The £2 I lent you last night.
You never.
I did.
Prove it.
Excuse me for interrupting someone else's conversation, but you did borrow £2, Corporal.
Well, Lecky, if you and the Holy Ghost both reckon I borrowed it, I must admit the possibility.
It's more than a possibility.
Well, there's only one thing I can do. I shall have to be the English gentleman that I am. I'll give you a chance to win it back.
That ain't fair.
Keep your conch out of it, Edward VII. Look, I'll tell you what I'll do with you, jockstrap. I'll have a bet with you. Now, let me see. Something fair. Something fair. Oh, yeah, I got it. I know. I'll bet you your £2 that Puffhouse Richardson gets nothing off of Mrs. Fancyworthy Fairfax.
I wouldn't mind £2 on that myself, Corporal.
Well, thanks very much.
Not at all, MacDangle. I'm a fair bloke.
Right, now then, let's see. Well, come in, Richardson, don't be shy.
But it's a bedroom, Mrs. Fairfax. I've never been in a bedroom before.
Where do you sleep at home?
Oh, in the bedroom. But not a lady's bedroom.
Oh, I see. Well, I tell you what. I'll risk being compromised if you'll risk being compromised.
Yes, Mrs. Fairfax.
OK, come in and sit down. Now then, let's see, where shall we start? Yes, that's it. Oh, sorry about that.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to sit next to your night dress.
You're very nervous of me, aren't you, Richardson?
Me? Of course not.
Oh, good. Well, books in the chest, I think.
Right. Oh, Animal Farm.
Oh, do you like George Orwell?
Yes, very much. It's interesting, isn't it? How he can make such a serious comment from what is almost a Walt Disney standpoint.
Yes, it is.
I feel the same way about Lewis Carroll. I mean, you only really appreciate those Alice books when you're an adult.
Like Wind in the Willows.
Quite.
Incidentally, there's a very good little library in Skelton, surprisingly enough.
Is there?
I expect you'll have better things to do with your spare time in Skelton than go to the library.
Well, what things, Mrs. Fairfax?
Well, picking up girls, for instance.
Oh, I wouldn't want you to think I'm that sort of chap, Mrs. Fairfax.
Why ever not? It's the most natural thing in the world, surely.
Oh, I pick up girls all right, Mrs. Fairfax. I picked up a couple last night, as a matter of fact.
Oh, did you? Have a nice time?
Nice? Oh. Well, no, actually. They both went to the pictures with my mate.
Oh, dear. What went wrong?
Me, I suppose. I don't seem to be able to talk to the opposite sex.
Well, you're talking to me.
Yes, but you're Mrs. Fairfax.
That's true.
No, you know what I mean. It's just that... Oh, why can't girls be like you, Mrs. Fairfax?
Well, because they're not old enough, for one thing.
You're not old, Mrs. Fairfax.
I didn't say I was. I said they're not old.
No, it's not just that. I mean, well, you're kind, and I can talk to you, and you're a very beautiful woman, Mrs. Fairfax, and I think that...
I think we'd better finish packing the books.
Yes, right. Mrs. Fairfax?
Yes, Richardson?
I didn't mean to be suggestive just now. I just meant that...
Books.
Yes. I hope you don't mind me asking, but, why are you packing these books up?
Oh, didn't you know? My husband's been posted to Aden.
Oh, Aden?
Yes, I'm joining him there next week.
Aden?
Yes.
Oh, blimey, Mrs. Fairfax.
There's only one way to get out, and that's to get some in. Get some in! It's time for national service, lads. Get some in!
You think you'll win, Ken?
Win what?
The beauty contest?
Look, I'm just trying to make myself look presentable.
Oh, yeah, of course. Been detailed to assist Mrs. Fairfax again, haven't you?
Meaning what?
Nothing.
All right.
Course. There are ways and ways of assisting.
Look, you'd better watch what you're saying about her.
All right,
Well,
Joe! I suppose the best thing to do is just to put her on the bed and strip her right down.
You dirty little swine!
My rifle! I meant my rifle!
Oh. Sorry, Matthew.
You could have broken a person's spectacles! You could have torn a person's collar! You could have cut a person's head open on that bed rail!
But he didn't, did he?
No, he didn't, but he could have!
Look, I said I'm sorry.
Well, I must say, for someone who's in love, you're very difficult to live with.
But today's the last time I shall ever see Mrs. Fairfax. She's going to join her husband in Aden. She goes tonight.
Your last chance, then.
Now, look!
Oh, shut up. All I meant was it's like your last chance to leave her with, like, a terrific impression of you.
Yes, I'd like to do that. I think she thinks I'm quite, well, pleasant.
Yeah.
But I don't think she'll remember me for very long.
Well, you've only got yourself to blame, the way you act with tarts.
No.
Sorry, ladies. No, I mean, look, you've got to leave her with, like... Got to leave her with the impression that she is leaving behind a seething volcano of a man.
Who, me?
Yeah. Well, try touching the old Robert Mitchum's. Be a bit stroppy with her, bit ruthless. Sorry, this. You give her the impression that you're going to forget her like that, she won't forget you for a long time.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Robert Mitchum?
Yeah.
Robert Mitchum.
Are you constipated, Puffer?
No, Corporal.
And what's the matter with your eyes?
Nothing, Corporal.
You're loony. And the rest of your mouthy. You're supposed to be cleaning your rifles, not seeing who can shout the loudest. I'm trying to read my blighty in there. Was that you screaming just now, Lily?
Yes, Corporal, I'm afraid it was.
Homosexual attack, was it?
What's that?
Never mind. Well, come on, Stella by starlight. Get your pinny on. You've got work to do.
Yes, Corporal.
Mind you don't chip your nail varnish. It's no good, jockstrap. I can't see him winning you. You're £2 for you.
Typical, wasn't my idea in the first place.
And it's no good of mumbling in Gaelic either. You was the one that suggested the bet. Wasn't you? Wasn't you? Look at the floor. Look at the floor! Look at the ceiling! Look at the floor! Look at the ceiling! Look at the floor! Look at the ceiling! See, lads, he's nodding.
Oh, there you are. Come in.
Yes. Might as well.
How are you?
Fine. Great. Couldn't be better.
Well, I've had the day to end all days, you know, last-minute rush. Gas, electricity, stopping the milk. Do you know the removal
Look, Mrs.
men?
Fairfax, I'm not really very interested in these petty domestic details. Now, what was it you wanted me to do?
You're a bit crotchety, aren't you?
Am I? Who cares?
I see. Well, they're just a few ornaments to pack up in the lounge, and that's it.
Well, let's get on with it, shall we? The sooner I get finished, the sooner I can get out and enjoy myself.
This way. Is there something wrong with your eyes? Well, there we are. Thank you very much for your help. It was very kind of you.
Well, I didn't volunteer. I was ordered to do it, so I did it. Now, perhaps I can have a couple of pints with the lads.
Aren't you going to wish me bon voyage?
Sure. See you.
Bye-bye.
Oh, Mrs. Fairfax, I don't deserve to live.
Why? What have you done?
Well, I've behaved like a savage towards you. You wouldn't have realised, Mrs. Fairfax, how could you? But my behaviour today wasn't me. I've been...
You've been putting on an act.
Oh, no, I've been putting on an act. Oh, you knew?
Well, let's say I had a faint suspicion. Who were you supposed to be, by the way?
Robert Mitchum.
Oh, yes, of course. That's why you were squinting. I couldn't get past thinking of Ben Turpin.
Oh, great. I can't even do impersonations now.
Well, why were you trying?
I was trying to impress you. Well, a friend of mine said I needed to act a bit more aggressively with women. And you just thought I was Ben Turpin.
Richardson,
Yes, Mrs. Fairfax?
come here a minute. I want to talk to you.
Yes, Mrs. Fairfax.
Now, listen to me. You don't have to act being anything with women. You're a very nice young man, and you've got your own qualities.
Well, then why don't they work?
Well, they will when the right girl comes along.
There aren't any girls like you, Mrs. Fairfax.
Of course, there are dozens.
Where?
Around. And let me tell you, those girls will like you just the way you are.
Will they?
Yes.
Well, it still won't be any good, though, will it?
Why, ever not?
Well, I mean, eventually I would want to, well, kiss them and so on.
Well, of course you would.
Well, that's just the trouble. I'm not sure I'm going to be any good at it. Well, I never know whose head tilts to the right and whose head tilts to the left. Or how you avoid clashing noses. I mean, do you close your eyes or hold your breath, or do you...
Don't worry about it. It comes naturally.
Well, if you say so, Mrs. Fairfax.
I know so. Now, look, I don't want to rush you, but...
Oh, sorry. Yes. Only...
Only what?
Well, I hope all this happens soon. Because I'm getting a bit fed up with being called Nance and Puffhouse and... Oh, pardon me for using those words in your hall, Mrs. Fairfax.
Who calls you this?
Oh, Corporal Marsh.
Oh, that man.
Oh, you know him, then?
Oh, yes. Have you ever heard the expression all mouth and trousers?
Yes.
Yes, well, that's Corporal Marsh, apart, of course, from being a dirty-minded, vulgar lout.
True, very true.
So, why should a man like that, calling you names, be of any consequence at all?
Thank you, Mrs. Fairfax.
Richardson.
Yes?
About that kissing business.
Yes?
It goes like this.
Oh, gosh, Mrs. Fairfax. Oh, God, Mrs. Fairfax.
Bye-bye.
Come on, boss. I want to get a skeleton tonight, not tomorrow.
I'm really going to try for that marmalade this evening.
Aye? West Drive.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Ken, look. If we get lucky tonight, I don't want you... Here, Ken, I'm talking to you.
Oh, sorry.
What's the matter with you anyway? You're grinning like a Cheshire cat. Why?
No reason?
There must be.
No?
You get out of the way, you lot. If there's a seat on that bus, I'm having it.
Like ladies do.
I heard that, Lily. Get back to camp and clean your webbing.
But my whisk drive.
You just run out of trumps. Push off. Where you going tonight, Nance? Embroidery classes?
Yes, Corporal.
Why you bothered to have that bet with me, Lecky, I'll never know.
Death wish, I suppose, Corporal.
Shut it, Sporran Gob.
Richardson.
Don't you mean me, Ma?
No, Corporal. I never mean you. I just thought I'd like to say goodbye.
Yes, goodbye, Mrs. Fairfax, and thank you.
I suppose she stopped to give him back them high heels he lent her.
Oh, by the way, here's your comb. I found it while I was making the bed.
Thank you. Very much, Mrs. Fairfax.
Thank you, Richardson.
Can I have my £2 now, Corporal?
And mine, Corporal.
It's time for National Service Max to get some in. They'll tell you now to ask your Max to get some in. So leave your mummies laughing on, there's no way you can win. You're victim of your vocal drum, so get some in. So you're in the RAF, you'll never see a plane. It's all the hut and pull yourself and pull the hut again. It's thrill and sweat and tears and strife will come to rest your head. You'll be the lowest form of life, you'll wish that you were dead. The rap for 2 years of your life